Summer of Sonic 2016.
Joining me today is a very esteemed panel of community guests. Some you may know, some you might not, depends how much you like to talk to people. Joining me is Adam Tough and Sven Jocelyn. How you doing, boys?
How you doing? We are very well. How is everyone?
Very well. We've got Jamie and Tanner from the Sonic Show.
Versus one mic on stage, we got 5 mics.
Yeah, I know. 5 mics, we should have 5 times something more us as well. We have the meme meister himself, Mr. Matt Heimer of Tails Channel. And last but very not least, we have Mr. Tyson Hess from Arch Comics. So, I've introduced myself, I've introduced my guests. We're going to start by talking about the community itself and how people got involved with it. This is pretty much going to be talking about how they got involved and how they feel it's gone since they've started. So, Sven and Adam, you're kind of the oldest guys here. No worries.
Appreciate it.
But you're also kind of like the first 2 people that really started pushing the community forward. So, if you want to take a minute and just explain how you joined the community for a minute.
So shall I start first? Because I think how Adam and I kind of got involved was kind of through the same portal, which is a fan site that I created about 15 years ago called Sonic Stadium. So, thank you. Yeah, I created this website when I was 15 years old because at high school I was just like, why are there not more Sonic fans in my school? So I thought, well, do you know what? I think I'm pretty good at this writing thing. I'm going to write about Sonic because I know Sonic and no one else does apparently. So I did this website and it kind of started on a rocky road to popularity, but then all of a sudden people just started thinking the stuff that I was doing was pretty good. So I carried on with it, and by about 2006 it was one of the biggest Sonic fan sites on the web for what that would get me. And at one point, I think for one of the website's anniversaries, I was doing a contest. I think this was about the point that I was working with Sagan, I think Pete wants to get to that in a little while. And we were doing a special contest for video entries. People write, this is before YouTubers were a thing, by the way, so this is a pretty difficult task to get people to make videos at the time, but it was like, what does Sonic mean to you? And this was how I first met Adam, because he ended up winning that prize with a rather inspired video. So I'm just going to let him take over from this point on. So
I think it's died. I hope it's not on the internet anymore. I know it's terrible. I appreciate the good words. So no, again, like I'm like you guys. I'm just a fan. I feel like I'm walking amongst the gods here today. And I guess the first guest that I ever met in real life was June. So I'm a big rock fan myself. So obviously when Crush 40 appeared, I was like, wow, this is immense music for a video game. So I met June over 10 years ago now, so I met him down in London. I knew Sven was working on this Summer of Sonic idea, so this was when Summer of Sonic was a internet incarnation. And I asked June, would you mind answering a few questions, and we'll put this online, because the fans will want to know. And June was like, really? Does anybody want to know about me? And I was like, oh, yeah, definitely. So we got some questions going. They ended up on the website, and I think we met in real life about 2 months later at a tea room.
it was the most exquisite of meetings.
It was good, it was very civilized. And that was, I guess that's where Summer of Sonic was kind of coined. It was like, wouldn't it be great if we could do a Sonic convention? Like, totally not believing that anybody would want to turn to a Sonic convention. So there was about 4 of us were going to meet up in a pub, and that ended up being about 10 people, and then it ended up being 30 people, and then it ended up being a pub, and then it ended up being people telling us to get out of the pub. So it was kind of, right, we need to organise something now, we need to do something bigger. And that was when sort of Sven came up with the idea of why don't we actually do this convention? Yes.
I mean, there will be a panel going over the history of Summer of Sonic, which I do urge you to come down and Sven and Adam will be a guest, but they'll go a lot more into detail about that. But Jamie is really the next big, the Sonic show is kind of the next big step, really, I would say. So, I mean, if you want to talk about that, and then Tanner, how...
So, I mean, what was it, like 2
2005, 2004, always on the forums, Sonic Stadium, message boards, that sort of thing. And I didn't feel, back then there was like podcasts, radio shows and stuff, we didn't really have any video content. Like it was sort of like magazine type format. So I thought, why not have a crack at it? It was around the same time that Sonic 06 came out. So that was great inspiration to make videos about how fun that game was. And then it sort of unraveled from there. We started out doing something on iTunes, just a video podcast, sort of expanded the years. I then joined Sonic Stadium, which was at the time I was like, oh, and then I went to YouTube and sort of went massive on YouTube. I get to now meet people like Panda and stuff, and my little Canadian friend. So yeah,
the same height. We learned that when we first met him the first time, like 2 days ago. I thought he was always taller than me, but it's like, no, not really.
But yeah, it was a case of starting back then. I saw what the community was doing, and I thought I could go to see this area of the community being filled, and I thought I could have a go at it. And 10 years later, still doing it.
Jamie also won the competition.
I am Sega Europe's biggest Sonic fan. That's canon, that's official.
Jamie will be wearing his Miss Europe sash later on.
It does exist.
It's a real thing, by the way.
It is very real, I've heard it. Tanner, I mean, you joined the Sonic Show later on.
Yeah, it was like, I watched the Sonic Show from, I think, year 2. Like, it was post 06, but it was pre-Unleashed and stuff. I remember just watching it, and we were like, oh, this is the funniest thing ever, I love it so much. And then all of a sudden, one of my friends, Fuad, who's also on the Sonic Show, he couldn't be here today, he was going to come to things happen. He's like, hey, they're casting a voice for Black Doom in their in a short cartoon, and I got it, and I'm like, okay, what? You got with the Sonic Show, and then that turned into, oh, Fuad's a guest on a live stream, and then I just got thrown into it, and then it turned from that into, hey, I saw you made a terrible Sonic 2 Let's Play, can I host it on our channel? And when I say terrible, I mean you guys have no idea how bad it was.
He's never finished. Tanner has never finished Sonic 2.
Okay, well, first off, the Let's Play was Sonic 2 XL, and the fact that I got to near the end of the game of Sonic 2 XL was incredible.
You've tried 2 other times, and you can't get past the final boss.
At least I get to the final boss. There's that. At least I approach it. I'm Vector Horizon, you know. But no, then basically what just happened was it then ended up being like, hey, you know, do you want to do videos for us? And I was like, sure, I'll start making videos for you. Weekly Let's Plays, weekly, quote unquote. And then it just turned into, and then I joined the podcast stuff. And then I just became kind of the second dude for the Sonic Show doing all sorts of stuff. And then that led to, actually it was I think last summer of Sonic, you wanted me to come down. And it just ended up being like, I was in, I think, high school at the time, and Mom's like, you are a high school student, you are not going to another country alone. And then, of course, I get to university, and I'm like, Mom, I'm a university student, I'm going to another country alone. So that's what I did. I came here, I met everyone, and it's incredible, for sure.
Moving on, Matt, do you want to explain how you kind of joined the community?
Sure, man. It's not going to be this big spectacle, though. So basically, I was a Sonic fan, and I was a bored freshman in high school, and I really admired what other YouTubers, you know, do, and I wanted to really just get into that, I guess. So I guess one day I was talking to my friend Michael. He owned Tails Channel at the time. He had like Sonic's Channel, Tails Channel, all these things. So one day he said, "Hey, do you want this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty good." Since then, I guess I've been doing news. I met so many people, like I met all these gentlemen before, and I guess I really just love the families. I really do. I think everyone I meet is so nice, and I don't know, I guess just being here in general is just really awesome.
Tyson, I mean, you're one of the last.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. You're one of the last ones we're going to talk about here. I mean, you have done a relatively famous comic that people are well aware of? I mean, what kind of inspired you to draw that in? More the community after that?
So let's go back to the very beginning here. Alright, so when I was in high school, I made a Sonic Sprite comic called Sonic R, which I don't know if anyone even remembers that, and I'd be glad if they didn't. That was kind of the start of my Sonic dabbling, I guess, because I've been a Sonic fan ever since I was a little kid, and I got my rented a Genesis from Blockbuster Video, and we had the Sonic cartridge, and ever since then it was a love affair with Sonic. But I did this little sprite comic called Sonic Arc, and I think a lot of those people that read that comic followed me as I did comics further on, and then one day this was when I was in college, I thought this funny idea where Eggman says, "Oh, I took all your friends and turned them into robots." And I thought, well, that's kind of a funny gag, and like I'll draw that, and then I'll go on with my life. And then I put that on my DeviantArt and Twitter and all that, and it was the most popular thing I'd ever done. This little stupid comic that I crapped out in like 5 minutes ended up inexplicably being the most popular thing I ever done. So it's like, all right, I'll do a couple more. And I did, there. And it's funny, my version of it isn't even the most famous version. Somebody took that and dubbed it and put it on YouTube, and that video has like 7 million views, which is ridiculous. Like, that's so many views. Like, people will come up to my table, it's like, oh, this is from YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, it's from YouTube. So I did that, and then just as a goof, when I was getting my actual graphic novel printed, I ran off a couple of those, and I sell them at my shows. And then one year at San Diego Comic-Con, I brought one to the editor, Archie, just again as kind of a, wouldn't this be funny if I gave this to the actual comic guys? And they took it home, and they thought it was funny, and they asked me to do some covers for Sonic, and I liked the covers. They asked me to do interiors, and so on and so forth. And now we're doing Mega Drive, which is it's kind of like it's not a one-shot now because we're doing several more, but like a self-contained little series with classic Sonic, and it's being very well received, thankfully.
Has anybody heard of Sonic Mega Drive? Yeah? What do you think of it? Yeah?
So that's been the first Archie Sonic comic to ever need a second printing now, actually. So.
I'll say right to close there.
It's a dream come true, Jerry.
Very nice. The next big thing I want to talk about is, as we've all discussed, we've all really started at one point, which is playing the games and moving on that way. But as we've discussed, we've started on forums, we've moved to YouTube, and that's how do you feel that transition has felt from being followers yourself to being YouTubers? Well, YouTubers.
The community has changed because when I started, it was all very forum based. It was almost like cliques. So you'd have like everyone on the stadium message board and everyone on Sonic Cage Dome, if anyone remembers that site.
Yeah.
And then people did sort of move around, but you generally found a message board you felt confident, and that was your community, that was your people. Now, basically, with Twitter, social media, YouTube, it's so much more open, so everyone's involved in everyone's stuff. So it's a different sense that you have a much wider audience, and you can reach out much wider, but then there's also a little bit of that process, I think. But it's interesting, because of social media, you can reach out to people who would never have done that before. People who are into Sonic a bit, but we have like gone on the forums now, we can speak to those people now.
Do you think it's a lot easier to find someone with similar
Yes.
Actually, I have kind of something to say about that, specifically in regards to Mega Drive. I think one of the reasons it's become so popular is because now with social media, when I first got the gig, against Archie's better wishes, I started just kind of posting all my development material on my Twitter account, which is not generally what you're allowed to do because they own it, when you make it for them. But I started putting those sketches and a couple panels and stuff that I'd been working on Twitter, and they got spread around like wildfire because people can connect now. And, you know, they see classic Sonic, and if people have fallen out of the fan base for a while, they see that like, oh, I remember this is what Sonic used to look like, and I used to play that when I was a kid on Genesis, and like that kind of that in pairing with kind of what the Sonic Twitter account is doing, it's gotten a lot of people to kind of take a second look at Sonic in a different light, where you don't necessarily have to have been a member of the community for so long to have that spark kind of rekindled in you. When you see it's something that reminds you of how you used to run the games back when, and you've fallen out, like now you see, oh, this community is still going. I had no idea, and now people are realizing that there's this whole, you know, millions of people that still love Sonic that are out there, still making content, still connecting over this. And I think, you know, social media is 100% to blame.
I mean, I'd agree with that. From a website perspective, like trying to evolve a website that you've been doing for 16 years, like to make it relevant, even like a decade and a half after you've started making it, is a real challenge. But I think when people start moving around and their habits change, as Jay and Tyson said, it becomes even more of a challenge. I think we've got like a pretty good idea of how we position sites like the Sonic Stadium and TSSN and things like that to make them a bit more relevant in today's space, because even though you can find a lot of the community more often in social media, I think there's still a requirement and a need for like a home, almost like an authority on things that happen in terms of news. So I think this is where YouTube channels like Tails channel come in handy, because they speak to, they report on things, they speak to a membership of the community, it's seen as an authority. Sonic Stadium is seen as an authority, so is TSSN and so on and so forth. So I think it becomes a lot more fragmented. Like Jay said, it's not just a forum that people go to and they make it their home now. It's just the home has just become bigger, and social media is like the back garden of the home now, I think. So it's how you adapt to that. And what's interesting, I know we've got a panel about Summer Sonic later on, but just to use this because I think it's relevant. What's interesting about the first Summer Sonic is that it was a bit of a collaboration between, you know, Sonic Stadium and Sonic Rex at the time, and Sonic Show and a bunch of other sites. But we didn't really put the word out. I think what our message wanted to be was, we don't want Summer Sonic to be just, you know, affiliated with one side or the other side. We want it to be a broad peers for the entire community. And on the back of that, through word of mouth alone, the first Summer Sonic was a huge success. So I think it's interesting from even way back when we did it in 2008 to see how, you know, we didn't even report it widely on the Sonic Stadium or Sonic Show or anything about the first Summer Sonic. It was a huge success. So it's weird how people's things and tastes have changed and where people are going and where they're at. So yeah.
One thing I will say is that, you know, I was a wee lad when forums were the thing going on. I remember finding a Sonic forum as a kid and just being like, I have no idea how to operate this. Like, how do I post? What do I post? So, but nowadays, you know, if there are younger kids who, every kid knows how to use YouTube. Like, you know, they're born with an iPhone in their hand and they already have the YouTube app open and they're already subscribing to things. So like, it's so much easier for the younger community members to be as up to date on information as, you know, the older ones now, because of things like Tails channel, you know, recording the news and stuff. And back in the day, it's like, I have no idea how to operate a forum, but if I was a young kid again, it's like, I'd just be as up to date, you know, being involved with stuff. And it's always like, you know, we'll see like, people comment on YouTube, and it's like, I'm 8 years old and I'm watching this video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's young kids, you know, it's like, it's crazy that, you know, because of how the internet has changed to be just a lot more accessible, you know, it's definitely opened up to be a lot more just easy for anyone to become a Sonic fan, you know, no matter their age.
All the Sonic fans in all the world, they watch your video where you're failing constantly at Sonic 2.
Failure is universal, you don't need age on that.
We've all failed in that boss at some point, some more than others. I'd like to just move on to the last point I've got before we'll see if we've got time to take any questions. Having worked in the community for so long, and this reaches to a lot of you because it's all moved on, it has branched out into official avenues with Sega. Sven and Summer Sonic, Matt, you've had an internship at Sega itself. Tyson, you've obviously moved on to RG, as you mentioned. Do you feel that having the vibrant presence and the approachable point in the community has helped that? or do you think it's all just a matter of just hard work and competition?
So I think even though we work with Sega quite well with Summer of Sonic, I think my first contact with Sega on an official level was back in 2006, I think, 2005 actually. I think they'd taken notice of some of the stuff I was doing with Sonic Stadium, and I had approached one of the marketing guys just completely by accident. I think one of the marketing managers did a DJ set in London on the side, so I thought, I'll go to that and meet his friend, which I thought was going to be really difficult, but it turned out being really easy. But yeah, we got to chatting, and I think at the time, this was before Sega had an official community team, and in Europe they were thinking about how best to approach the community. So after I made the initial meet with them, they picked my brains about like, oh, what do people think about Shadow the Hedgehog? And I was like, thanks for the lunch. But even back then, Sega were very keen to know what fans were thinking. I think on a marketing level, they find a benefit to it because obviously they reach out directly to the fans. With Summer of Sonic, it's like if Sega ever wanted to just like put a thing in front of Sonic fans, this is the perfect place to do it because they're just concentrated. The core target audience is right here. But on the flip side, fans can also be in control of that conversation because they can play things like Sonic Mania and Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice and give feedback, which then can put Sega back on the back step. And I think they're looking for that too. So I think it's beneficial in both ways. Like Sega wants to reach out to the community to get feedback, not just to mercilessly sell us things. And on the other hand, for us as the community, it's like, oh wow, the official brand is actually speaking to us. Well, what do we do with this? But then, with things like Summer of Sonic, I'm sure Adam can kind of say as well, it becomes a balancing act between like, this is a fan event and also Sega support. So how does that find across without anything like too much of a marketing event? Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
So I mean, Sega have been so supportive of us from day one, and they've both financially able to bring things like Me That There, Odyssey at Day Rolls, supplied by Sega, and they are so keen to get the fan opinion of these games because they want to make games for you guys. They don't just want to chuck out any old cross. And it's the case of it is a balancing act between, they have deadlines and these things. But I think one of the really, really interesting evolutions of sort of having these connections to Sega is that these fans are now becoming Sega themselves and are taking on an official capacity. I mean, you guys will all know Aaron Webber, yeah? So yeah, Aaron started out like the rest of us, just as a fan, and it became something where he got this job at Sega, and he kind of took it onto himself to sort of evolve a lot of the social media, and I think he took quite a big chance on that, and it's paid off. Like, the dividends from that have been absolutely incredible. And the links from things like that, so we had Christian Whitehead from, again, started out as a fan, Sonic Retro Engine, you guys have all played the ports. Christian knows exactly what he's doing. This has been the really interesting evolution, is that they've put the trust into these fans to go, right, okay, yeah, making new games. If you guys haven't played Sonic Mania yet, go and play it today. It is mind-blowing. I mean, you guys are just, my brain just melted when I played the first act. It's like, oh. Because that's the game, for me, that is the game that I've been waiting for 20 odd years. A lot of the new Sonic games I know aren't aimed at me. They're really fun. I mean, I really love some of the new generation games, but I know they're aimed at a younger audience. But I think this is the nice thing, is that now that we're getting on, particularly me, but now that we are the guys, these are the people who then start to influence the universe. And this will be the next generation. And again, there's people watching, guys like Tanner and Jamie's channels, and are reading Tyson's comics. And these guys, that'll be their avenue, their conduit into the fandom, and then they'll be taking this mantle on in 10 years' time when I can retire.
These are the people that are inspiring the new generation, is what it's saying. Anyone else?
I mean, I can just say, like, kind of echoing what you said, but it's like the people that grew up playing Sonic as Sonic fans are now old enough to have the jobs, so fill the positions in the companies to make the new content. I mean, be it Aaron or the fellows making Mania, it's like everyone that is doing this grew up with a passion for Sonic that they held on to into their adult years and then transition that into a job. And that brings with it the knowledge of the history of Sonic and how to push the franchise forward while keeping their memories and what they know that makes the franchise great, reinfusing that into the franchise as well. I know that with our communications making the comics with Sega, they give us, they pull us back a little bit, to keep us on brand and everything, but they also give us a lot of freedom to make the comic that we think people want to read. Just in regards to Mega Drive even, it was my choice to use the Sonic CD model of Sonic instead of the classic model of Sonic that you see in Generations and on General Sonic classic branding. And they just let us do that because that's my favorite Sonic model. And
Sonic CD is boss.
and they trusted that we know what we were doing, and it ended up really paying off. So they believed in us because we know Sonic, and the franchise is in the hands of people that have a real passion for it.
I think that's one of the major points. Is like everybody that's in here at the table, I'm sure, has a passion for Sonic. Still does. I think we can say that. How many people sitting down in the room watching the have got a passion for Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, any one of you guys, as they've said, could be the next one of these. Like you could do your own YouTube stuff. You could do a comic. Like Matt, just make memes for it. But before we go, I think before we wrap up, does anybody have any quick questions for anybody? Yeah.
Tattoos. How far do you actually get on Sonic 2 before you finish?
So, here's the thing. Even though I've never beat it, Sonic 2 is legit my favorite, classic of the classic trilogy. And I'll pop it in and play it all the time, but I never get to Oil Ocean. I think by the time I get to Oil Ocean, I'm like, I've had my fill and turn it off. So everything after Oil Ocean is completely, I have no knowledge of, and I get to the final boss sometimes and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to put up with this right now, because the no rings part sucks.
Do you know what happens at the end?
I do, because I beat it.
He's seen Poxy's videos.
Oh no, I beat it with a friend one day, but Jamie's like, oh, because she got the last hit because we were switching controls every time we died. It's like, because she got the last hit, it doesn't count.
It didn't count.
Yeah, it's like,
Alright. Anybody else? Questions?
Hello. Okay, I know you're all going to say, it's for all of you, I know you're all going to say, oh, but I love them all equally for all the reasons, but if you had to name your all-time favourite Sonic game, what would it be?
Unleashed. Sonic 3 Knuckles.
Just one, not two.
Hey, it's out.
No, just one.
no. Can I just say the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure 2? So many hours. So many hours.
I want to say, right, I have two, right, so... Right, so if I was to pick a classic game, it would be Sonic 2. If it flips between that and Sonic 3, so that's kind of cheap. But if it was a modern game, it would be Sonic Colors.
That's two.
It'd be Sonic 2.
I really love Tails Adventure.
I mean, for me, it's Sonic CD because it's just absolutely. Anybody else? Questions? Go to the back. This gentleman right here.
Hi, sir. Have you beaten Black Knight yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you beaten Black Knight yet?
I have not beaten Black Knight. So now, people have come to me, alright, so I'm friends with a couple of guys called the Game Grumps. We live very close to each other, and Aaron famously hates Sonic games, so it's not something I can ever argue with him on, but the day they started playing Black Knight, I texted him to say, that's the only Sonic game I've never beaten, and good luck.
You've beaten Sonic Secret Rings?
Yes.
You've never beaten Black Knight?
I've never beaten Black Knight.
You can't let him beat you.
I know, I have a feeling they've given up, and I hope so, because if he has that over me, I'll feel bad. But you know what? The reason why is because Black Knight came after Unleashed, and Unleashed is my favorite game. I played that game, and I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on Unleashed.
Oh, I love Unleashed.
I played Unleashed for 8
Hands up for
months
Unleashed.
straight.
There you go.
Half of it.
Right,
Half the audience.
I'm afraid that we're going to have to end the panel there. We've got two people that need to go and do another panel somewhere else. So if I can hear a big round of applause for my